and welcome to Jump Inside Games. My name is Seb, and today we are going to be discussing my love interest in gaming. This is Lara Croft Tomb Raider, and it's one of the games that I love and hate at the same time. This is the remastered. It's only just come out. I've been looking forward to this, and the moment it came out, I was like, yes, I am getting that game, and there are a few things I need to cover because this is a review video, and I will spew on forever about this game, so let's get started, shall we? So you play as Lara Croft. Here she is. She is the Tomb Raider. She goes to tombs and she raids them, but also she lives in Croft Manor, which is what we're going to be exploring first. We'll also take this opportunity to explore the gym, which is inside what looks like should be the kitchen in the manor or the dining room, but no, this is the gym area where she can jump and flip off stuff, but mostly she will talk back to you and she will tell you exactly how to do certain jumps. So you'll be able to learn inside this room exactly things that you'll be doing while you're playing on levels. It's kind of like a training ground for most of the game, which is brilliant because I like this. This is like your own explorable area. This is where she lives, but at the same time, you've got this opportunity to really practice things that you'll be using when you're actually out on field, which is a very nice touch. There's nothing to say that this is a proper training area, but it kind of is, and it works beautifully.
Immediately press and hold the action button, and I'll grab the ledge on the way down.
Now, what you just witnessed there was Lara's voice, and if you spotted while doing that training area, you may have spotted I was having difficulties going around and moving around a little bit. Now, that's called tank controls. Now, I'll go to the gym for this part to explain. Tank controls are a little bit tricky to use if you're not used to using them. Basically, you jump up and down if you want to jump up and down. Jump left and right if you want to jump left and right. Now, you can't physically turn left or right directly like you would in other games. So, if you want to run left, you have to run forward left or run forward right. You can't just turn right and your character will start going right. If you want to get right quickly, you'll need to use the jump button. Now, you can use tank controls if you wish, which is absolutely fine. I'm not stopping you. But you do also have the option now, because this game is remastered and it's updated, they have included modern controller settings in this game, which means if you want to move your character left, your character will just move left. You need to change that in the setting area of this game. But yes, it helps for people who are not used to tank controls. Like me, I don't like using tank controls. They're old, they're outdated, and we like moving like we do in modern games these days. So forget tank controls, we'll be playing this game in modern controls. And as well as modern controls, it also has a feature. At a click of a button, you can see what this game used to look like in its original form. Yes, you can see the old graphics and the new graphics with a click of a button, which is great, because you get that experience. It's nice, it's good. And also, you might notice that the older graphics are a little bit brighter. So there might be some places when you play this game that are in dark locations or some shadowy locations. And going back to the original graphics might brighten things up just a little bit.
Let's go for a swim.
Okay, let's go for a swim. This is the swimming area in Lara's house. It's not that amazing. It's a little pool that she can swim in, but it does teach you some swimming mechanics in this game, which is nice and helpful. Also, when you do complete this part, this ends the level, and then you can move on and do other things.
Right, now I'd better take off these wet clothes.
Now, in the first game, I couldn't find a way out the house, so I was able to do the gym in the first game, but in number 2 and 3, there was a very easily accessible assault course outside, which I was able to do, and this is me right now doing that assault course. And this assault course has a timer in which you need to complete it by, but it's also quite a hard assault course, considering when you use tank controls. See, this game is made for tank controls. This game was designed when tank controls were put in. That's why everything's in blocks in squares, because in tank controls you go from one square to another square. So that's how tank controls really take effect in this game. So when I did this assault course, I did it using tank controls first time, and it was quite tricky to get over certain obstacles. You really had to get used to it. And as you can see, my time result for using tank controls was 3 minutes 07 seconds. So now let's see how my result would have looked like if I used just normal controls. And with using normal controls, as you can see, I've actually done this assault course a lot faster. In fact, I've pretty much done this in under a minute faster, which means obviously normal controls are a lot easier. Now we're going to move on to the actual main game. But first, we just need to lock the Butler inside the refrigerator for no apparent reason. Just one moment. Okay, now we can move on to the main game. Let's go. So, Lara is a tomb raider. Basically, she goes into tombs and raids them, but not just for anything. Basically, in this particular tomb, she's trying to get a particular trinket.
An age-old artifact of mystical power is buried in the unfound tomb of Qualapec. That's my interest.
Now, you've got to keep in mind that this is a big game and it was built for PC and PlayStation, so there is going to be some points in this game which are going to frustrate you, but at the same time, it's quite an interestingly big-sized game for what it offers. And because you will have started this game off in tank controls, and potentially, or majority of you will have turned them off, you will look at these levels and go, this was originally built for tank controls, these styles of levels, which means getting around them would have originally been quite hard because you'd have to be very in control of your directional buttons. However, when I came across a room like this, I started to look around and started to notice this is going to be a lot easier maneuvering around in because I don't need to use tank controls. I've got modern control settings, which means these levels, which would have normally taken ages, are going to be quite fast to get through. And I'm going to find this game very easy to navigate around in. Which I have to come across to the question, does that make this game less fun because the tank controls are removed? Or now that tank controls are removed, is this game more fun because it's easier to control? However, the levels are also so easy that they may get boring. These are things that I have to think about and work out for myself. So does it get points or does it not get points? I don't know. We'll have to look at certain levels that get a bit trickier as this game progresses. Otherwise, this game is going to get too easy and too boring very fast. But that's just the level design aspect of the game, and there's more to this than just the level design. There's also the combat, and the combat also is very important to understand when playing this game, because you don't control where Lara aims. Yes, so that gun shooting there, Lara aimed for herself. This isn't so much as a shooting and aiming game, more of a dodging game. Yes, you're not so much as in control of what Lara's shooting at, but you're more in control of her dodging. So try to aim in the direction, or make sure Lara is aiming in the direction of the things that she's shooting, and she will do the shooting for you. However, just make sure that you're dodging whatever is attacking you. And you might find that using modern controls are quite tricky because you're running around creatures instead of jumping around creatures. So it can get quite tricky. However, when you aim your gun, you do have the ability to jump around and fight as you would if you were using tank controls. Also, health in this game is things that you find around the map that you pick up. And to use health in this game, just to clarify, you just select it inside your menu and Lara will heal up, ready for any battles she's about to take. One of the things that really annoys me in this game is the control system overall, because there is a problem with the camera. Yes, when you play this game, you'll start to notice at certain points of the game, the camera just decides to go AWOL and do its own thing, especially in tight areas. And as this is a game where you go in the direction where the camera is pointing, it really does affect your gameplay if the camera has a big old mess up during playing this game. Now, before I go over to the ratings, there is one last final thing I want to mention, and that is that there is no map. So while I'm playing this game and I'm going to a certain direction, there is no map or no indicator to tell me if I'm going in the right or wrong direction. I walked all the way up here over a bridge to find out that the pieces that I needed for this segment was in a completely different area of the map, which means I completely wasted my time trying to get to this location because I needed to go somewhere else before I went here. Now, I'm not saying this game is bad or I wouldn't have figured it out eventually, but it did get me to the point where I needed to come out of the game, watch a YouTube video for some pointers in what direction I needed to go to. And whenever I do that in a game, that breaks the immersion, and that's not a good thing. And I don't like it when a game has to pull you out from the game, so you have to go to a Wikipedia article or you need to go to a YouTube video to find out what you were actually meant to do while playing this game, which was collect these parts. As an overall, I'm going to finalize this as a rating, and taking everything into account with the new modern level designs, which absolutely look excellent. They've taken the time over that, keeping it to the original as well as making it look lovely and fresh at the same time, may I add. As well as that, they've also updated the control system, so there's a new modernized controls, while keeping the tank controls still in the game if you wanted to play the game like the original was. But at the same time, obviously, there is that level stuff and the camera controls that are obviously still quite not very nice, but they're better than they used to. So, is it a good game or is it a bad game? Overall, I think this is a good game. I really do enjoy this, and I think it's absolutely excellent. There's lots of places to go around, there's lots of places to search. It's a great adventure game, and I love it. However, it's not going to be your beautiful cinematic game. It is going to look quite old and quite janky in some areas, even after the graphic update. So, yes, it looks great. There are some bits that you may like, there are some bits that you won't like, and overall, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10. If you're new and you want to get into this franchise, then maybe play one of the more modern games. But if you want to play the original, to see where this whole series started off, this is an excellent game to return to. However, this wasn't my first Lara Croft game. My first Lara Croft game was Tomb Raider Legends, and I absolutely love that game, and I will play that game to the bitter end if ever I have to play a Lara Croft game. I think the jumping, the dodging, the abilities in this game are absolutely fantastic, and this game is actually 10 out of 10 for me, and I think it is beautifully crisp. Love it, and I will always love this game. This is my favorite Lara Croft game. It's got perfect jumping abilities, it's got a beautiful storyline, and I think this is the best of the lot. Anyway, there you go, that's my review, and I will see you guys on another Jump Inside video. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.